What's up guys, Vincent is here. On today's video I'm going to take a look to sound layers or sound partials in Roland Fantom. Actually, I'm tending to review some of the features who can help you to do a better sound designing with this instrument. And in this video I'm going to have a look to amp envelope, these knobs and parameters, and finally I'm going to use oscillator and parameters on oscillator to make changes on each layer sounds in this device. But before I start, I would like to ask you to support my channel with like and subscribe. That will be a great help for me. Okay, let's start it. Let's go to the zoom view, and as you can see, I'm on the first zone, and let's bring up a pad sound, and let's start with fantasy one, for example, and see how is it. So as you can see, we got one single sound for zone one, but this sound on reality is a combination of different layers, and you can modify different layers of sounds with Roland Phantom. In order to see the layers, just select amp envelope, go to parameters, and select amp. So as you can see, I have partial one, partial two, partial three, partial four, and I can turn them off or turn them on the way I want. But in order to have a better control on your partials, I do suggest you to press pad mode here and select partial switch. And as you can see now, the colors change on my pad, and I can select partial one, partial two, partial three, partial four, or I can turn them on or turn them off the way I want, so I can control all the partials. Now it's time to listen to partial one and see how is it. So you see, it's divided to different layers. Let's have a look to partial 2 and turn off partial 1. So you see, partial 2 is a very narrow sound, but it exists and it helps other layers. Let's move on to partial 3 and bring this sound, for example. So it's a pad sound. Once I bring up the other layers, okay, let's move back to partial 1. Okay, so I go partial 1, turn off partial 2 and partial 3. And as you can see, for partial 1, you got other features, so you can make modifications for your amp. So you may increase the level, velocity send, pan, kink flow, and output sign. And but if you move to amp envelope here, you will have this diagram. And by using these four knobs, which is your attack, your decay, your sustain, and your release, you may make changes on partial one only. Okay, so let's bring up the attack. So you see the diagrams change. So let's have a look to the sound. Wow. Let's move it back. So this is the original sound. So let's increase the attack, increase the decay, increase the sustain and the release, and see how would be the result. So you see the sounds continue because we increase the release on this sound. Let's move it back. Okay. Okay. And moreover, you can make other changes by using filter envelope or pitch envelope and also the oscillator. Let's try oscillator here and select parameters. So I'm on oscillator parameters, but I move on to oscillator type to select different types of oscillator. Let's try, for example, analog filter. Okay, let's move on to oscillator parameters. So we are in cell, let's go for a square. Let's try triangle. Let's touch other parameters to see how they changed. So you see how it affects your sound. Let's bring up the fat. Okay, let's go for ramp. And as you can see, we are only make changes on partial one. You can do so for other partials if you want. So you may activate partial 3 and make the modification on oscillator and make modifications on your filter. So let's move back to partial 1 again and go for something different. Okay, super saw. Let's increase and see how. Okay, that's nice. C2. Okay, let's move back to zone 1. Okay, we're on zone 1 and go to the pad. And once we select different sounds, you will see how many partials exist on that sound. So let's select, for example, this one. As you can see, there are 2 partials on that sound. Let's move to another page and see this partial got this sound got 4 partials. The other sound got 3, and so you can check how many layers exist on each sound. Let's do something different. And let's go back to the zoom view. And for the first zoom, let's bring a piano sound. Okay. So as long as I'm on the piano sound, no partial activated on my pads. So there is no partials for V pianos. Okay, but once you move to Zen core banks, you will get different layers for your piano sound. This is how Zen core piano sounds designed. Okay, okay, that's cool. Okay, let's take one piano sound and touch the filter. So I go for attack. So I increase the attack. Wow. Let increase the sustain and release. But this is interesting. When I touch the keys softly, it's gonna be a kind of pad sound. But if I touch them hard, it brings up the piano sound for me. Okay, that's cool. And now if you move to oscillator and press parameters and go for oscillator type, and let's go for visual analog again, and go back to oscillator parameters. So let's try triangle. Let's bring up the depth. So as you can see, we start with a piano sound, but by using the filter and the oscillator, we turn it into a pad. So this is up to you how you want to make changes of the layers and create your own desirable sound. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me any comments if you have any question. I will be happy to answer them. Take care and have a good one. Bye.